The pilot worked. 2.5 hours off every first response, and the numbers hold up. So we're done? Not quite. Right now that improvement exists because 6 people are paying attention to it. The moment this becomes just how we work, the attention moves somewhere else. And that is when new processes fail. Quietly, a few weeks in. FMEA is how you get ahead of that. Every way the new process can break, listed before it breaks, scored and ranked. So you spend your effort on the ones that actually matter. FMEA isn't in the toolkit. It's a tab on the assignment itself, right here in the strip, because it belongs to the whole project rather than to any one run. 0 entries so far, failure mode and effects. Analysis, and the formula is right there in the subtitle. RPN equals severity, times occurrence, times detection. 3 scores from 1 to 10, multiplied together. Severity, how bad is it if this happens? Occurrence, how often will it? And detection, this is the one that trips people up. Because a high detection score is bad. 10 means you would not notice. 1 row per failure mode. And we're going to describe the new process, not the old one. First one, the obvious one. Sweep not run. Effect, tickets wait until the next morning. Cause, the owner's on leave and nobody named a backup. Current controls. The 130 auto-assigned floor we built last lesson, plus a rota backup. Severity 7. It undoes the whole improvement for a day. Occurrence 3. It'll happen occasionally. Detection 2 because the auto-assigned firing is our alarm. Second, auto-assign lands on an agent who is already loaded. Effect. The ticket gets assigned but not worked. It looks handled and isn't, which is worse than sitting in a queue where somebody can see it. Cause. Round robin knows nothing about current load. Controls. An open load check at stand-up, which is a human looking at a number once a day. Severity 6. Occurrence 5. Detection 6. Third, severity misjudged during the sweep. Effect. A high-severity ticket sits in the normal queue. Cause. Triage done at speed, under afternoon load, which is exactly the condition we created by adding a second sweep. Controls. Severity only gets rechecked if somebody escalates. Severity 8, occurrence 4, detection 7, and that detection 7 is the real problem. If you misfile a ticket, nothing tells you. Fourth, and this is the one I'd lose sleep over. Auto-assign job fails silently. Effect, no floor under the sweep and nobody knows. Cause, there is no alert when the job doesn't run. Current controls, none today. Writing none, honestly, is the entire point of doing this. Severity 8, occurrence 2, detection 9. And here's what the register does with all that. Total RPN, 590 across 4 failure modes, mean 147.5. 1 high risk at RPN 200 or above. The Pareto ranks them. Severity misjudged during the sweep, 224, 38% of all the risk in this process on its own. Auto-assign on a loaded agent, 180. Together, those two reach 68%, and they're the two that tool marks as the vital few. Now look at what didn't come top. The silent job failure, the one that sounded most frightening, severity 8, sits third at 144, because it almost never happens. And sweep not run, the failure we spent an entire lesson designing against, is last at 42. That isn't the poka-yoke being pointless. That is the poka-yoke working. We already pushed its detection score down to 2. This is what a risk score is for. Not to alarm you, to stop you fixing the loudest thing instead of the biggest. So improve is done. We chose a fix on evidence, mistake-proofed it, piloted it, proved it, and now we know exactly where it is most likely to break, which turned out not to be where any of us would have guessed. Which brings us to the last question of a real project. How do you keep it? Because everything so far has been a project, and projects end. Next chapter is control. The charts that tell you when a process is drifting, the plan that says who does what when it does, and the standard work that survives after the improvement team has moved on. See you there.